And joining us right now from literally in the closet. He's getting his house built. We're not going to tell you where that's at, but he's building the house and he's taking a break with us. It never gets old saying this. This is the third time in a row I get to say this. World champion left-handed pitcher Cody Bradford's joining us. Cody, what's going on, man?
Wow, guys, it sounds awesome when you say it that way. Not much. Yeah, like y'all said, we got some house stuff going on in a new house, so some painters and some furniture. So we're in the closet, the quietest spot, and glad to hop on with you guys today.
This is your third appearance, so you're the first player, prospect, or major leaguer to make a third appearance. So
wow,
we don't have anything for you, but it looks good on a resume.
Sure. Awesome. Well, I feel honored.
Hey, shout out to Randy because your dad is a huge fan, and your dad stops me every time I see him in Frisco, and he can confirm. Cody can confirm when we were after the parade.
Yeah,
we were walking through down there. We were walking through the inside, and Randy comes running up in front of me. I didn't know what he was doing. Just some guy stopped right in front of me. He turned around, this little grin on his face, and he was loving life. Gave me a huge hug. I mean, this is, the dad of a World Series champion at the parade, and you could tell he was having a good time.
I mean, he's just a Ranger fan through and through. Like, I grew up in Fort Worth, and so he loves following y'all's podcast, listening to it. Back when I was in Hickory and in AA coming up and got my first time on it, he loved listening to it. So he's just he's a super fan.
Well, good. Well, maybe we can get him a trophy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For one fan. There's got to be one of those out there.
No, he's always, he goes out of his way to come say hi every time he's around and do that. Love Randy. Love the whole, the Bradford family.
My wife does not watch it. So she is not number one fan.
Mine doesn't either.
Her parents watch, though.
She'll watch when, like, Cody's on because she met Cody, so she'll watch the Cody portion of it. Okay. She won't watch any other part of it.
All right, well. Anyway, so what have you been up to besides the new house? You didn't have your usual length of time off.
Sure.
September and October. So what's the off season been like?
I mean, actually, the day after the parade, my wife and I flew to Charlotte, and we went to Tread, each headquarters out there in, Charlotte, North Carolina, South Carolina, wherever it's at, and got with them and excited to work with them this off season, working on some mechanical adjustments and just some pitch design stuff. And then my wife and I usually like to travel and try and take a vacation, but we didn't do that this off season. She let me go on a boys trip with my dad, my father-in-law, and my two brother-in-laws, and we went on a week-long elk hunt up in Colorado, and it was a blast.
Gosh,
where in Colorado?
It was really close. It was in the town of Eagle, which is like outside of Vail. Yeah, really close to Vail.
Yeah.
Well, did you get one?
We did on the last day. We didn't get one in Eagle. My father-in-law actually had an old business partner that had a ranch up there and was kind enough to give us a cow voucher because you can't shoot a cow. You can't get a tag for a cow if you're a non-resident. And so we had a bull, hunted hard for one for 4 or 5 days, didn't get one. And then on the last day of the season, we got a cow.
Okay.
So
good for you.
Now, my father lived in Colorado for a little bit.
Yeah, right.
Went on an elk hunt one time. I like to go deer hunting. I've got a little land out in West Texas. I go deer hunting at, and he killed an elk. And I said, man, that must have been the coolest thing in the world. And his exact words were, I will never kill another elk unless it's standing in the back of the pickup.
Right.
He said that was you had to hike it out of there, right?
We got lucky. So shooting the cow on a buddy's ranch, we got to take the pickup right out in the pasture, kind of where we were.
But got to pull the truck up there.
Well, my brother-in-laws, when we were all up in Eagle, we had an opportunity to shoot we didn't have an opportunity to shoot a legal bull, but we would have had a spike tag. We could have shot a spike. And it's 500 yards as the crow flies. But if we would have shot it, we would have had to go about half a mile down a canyon and half a mile back up a canyon on the other side. And I can't imagine what that would have been like if we would have shot one.
I'm from Colorado. My sister and brother-in-law, they live in Loveland, which is north. It's near Fort Collins.
Skied there.
Okay.
And, no, not the ski resort. It's on I-25. It's an actual city.
Mm-hmm.
Town. Anyway, we were up there right before Christmas, and every day a herd of elk came into their neighborhood.
Wow.
I mean, these are not deer.
No, these are big animals.
These are not deer.
They are huge.
But yeah, we could just walk across the street and shot one. I mean, it would have been illegal. Yeah. We probably got arrested, but I mean, we didn't have to go to Eagle and trudge out in the snow. We just walk across the street. But yeah, I mean, the wildlife, it's just.
But now you divvy all that up. Everybody gets some good meat.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We split it up between all the family, and gosh, we're going to be eating elk for a year now. So it's going to be awesome.
Well, okay. So what about the baseball stuff? You said you went to Tread, which I guess Dane Dunning has worked out at. Jack Leiter apparently does something with them. Spores, I'm sure there are others.
Yeah.
When did you start throwing again?
I took 2.5 weeks off. So I started throwing like right around Thanksgiving, I guess. So maybe that would be 3 weeks, but it was right after Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And did it feel like you were fresh? And because I mean, you probably pitched more than you ever had before.
Sure.
How are you feeling as you're working out here this off season?
Yeah, this off season feels great. When I started throwing again, right, it's really low intensity and working on some other stuff with plyo balls, but I was surprised. I was curious how my body would bounce back as well. I think the heavier load of my throwing was earlier in the year when I was throwing a lot of innings. And so when I was with the big league team at the end in the bullpen, it was a little bit easier for my body to adjust and handle that, which ended up working out great. But this off season has been pretty normal compared to other off seasons. As soon as I started throwing bullpens about a week and a half ago, which is right on course with last year and the year before. So honestly, it's been pretty normal.
You are off a mound? Are you're preparing, I guess, to be a starter? I mean, right now you're one of the 5.
Yeah, until I hear otherwise from the Rangers. Yeah, I'm going to prepare to be a starter. Yes, sir.
Are you getting there's a facility near your home where a lot of players have started to work out, but are you going back and forth to the ballpark? Where are you doing your work?
Yeah, I've been in our new place. We're about 30 minutes from the ballpark in Arlington, so it's an easy shot over there. So I've just been going in and getting my lifts done, get my throwing done. There's bullpen catchers there. The technology's there that I need. And it's fun to go to the stadium when you can. It's still like a dream come true. So
who else is there? What's the group like?
Simeon.
Yeah. So Simeon's been there. I think he's been on vacation for a little bit. But it's been me, Josh Spores, Josh Smith, all the Joshes, I guess. And Marcus was there, and JP Martinez has been coming in. And I think Huff might have come in earlier this week, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
And then
go ahead.
Big John Gray, Jay Gray came back, so he's back in town too.
Good. Yeah, it's I thought it would be a bigger group, but I mean that's fine. I mean,
you approve?
I'd like all every 40-man member to be there. It's good to have somebody to work out with. That's for sure.
Yeah, no, that's the thing.
Not that you couldn't go down to Baylor or go anywhere. Go to TMI.
Yeah,
this is the time to go to TMI, not during the season.
Right.
Yeah. So spring training, have they laid out any kind of plan for you guys as starters? They take it easy, or as a young guy, you're just ready to do whatever you got?
It's been pretty quiet on my front. I briefly texted with Mike Maddox a couple days ago just on some pitch design stuff and just making sure we're all on the same page. And he's like, yeah, sounds good. So, but as far as scheduling, I think we got to wait until the off season's totally complete, because you never know what moves they might make still. Sure. And who they might try and sign.
So what did you make of last season? The last time we had you on was right in early May, after you had become you were the world's greatest pitcher in AAA, and then 10 days later, if even that, you made your major league debut. What was this first season like?
I would say it was a learning experience all the way around. The starting from a starter's aspect didn't go as I would have hoped, I guess. Getting moved to the bullpen, didn't see that coming, but hey, I kind of found a role that fit and was able to help the team in the playoffs, which, I mean, that's more than I could ever ask for, is just to be a contributor there. And gosh, just trying to get my feet wet and understand the day-to-day flow of being a big leaguer, I guess. It didn't really change from the minor leagues to the big leagues from a scheduling standpoint, but gosh, all the distractions outside the field definitely changed. And trying to manage that was interesting. So,
yeah. Well, you mentioned pitching in the postseason, and one of the things that the Rangers like so much about you is that you're a pretty steady and even keeled guy, and nothing really seems to bother you. But did you feel a difference when you're on the mound? That first time in Baltimore, did you feel, all right, this is a little different?
A lot of people have asked me that, and it seems weird, but for some reason I really didn't. I think I was so locked in and just focused on executing pitch after pitch. And to me, it felt like another day at the ballpark, and maybe I was fooling myself a little bit. But for whatever reason, that's what worked for me, is just telling myself, hey, it's just another baseball game. Like, it's just another day at the job. Just go out and have fun and execute pitches and see what happens. So it didn't feel like a bigger moment, I guess. Maybe it should have. I don't know. Maybe I missed that part. I don't know.
Well, you can look back. I've done a lot of this. I've watched a lot of the games again throughout the playoffs, and you can go back to certain things that maybe in the moment you overlook, but
sure.
That outing was huge. I mean, because Jordan wasn't able to go 5. It seemed like Baltimore kind of had his number that day, or maybe he was a little bit off, and you helped steady things, and the lead got rebuilt, and then you ended up winning the game, sweeping the series, and the rest is history. But yeah, I mean, I just what does it mean? And there were some guys who were along for the ride, didn't pitch a ton or play a ton, but what does it mean to like contribute to a World Series win?
That's
it was a dream come true. I told Maddie, my wife, before we even made playoffs, I was like, babe, if I even have an opportunity to make a playoff roster, that would be awesome. But to pitch an inning, a meaningful inning, and contribute in any way would like fulfill every childhood dream I've ever had growing up being a Rangers fan. Watching the 2010, 2011 World Series losses, like, oh my gosh, guys, it was incredible just to be able to help the team move forward and have a chance. So
what do you do now? I mean, first year you win a World Series. I mean, it's I mean, it happened to Cal Ripken. Ripken first year won a World Series, and that was it. So how do you guys get back to winning another?
Yeah, I think we build from here, and it's not just a one and done thing. Like, I think CY has talked about it a lot. Like, he wants to build a winning culture, and he wants guys in the organization to have a winning culture. And to have that, you can't just because you were a winner once doesn't mean you have a winning culture. It's winning time and time again. So I think that's what all the guys in the clubhouse want, and that's what we see moving forward. And I hope that's everybody's goal, that it comes up.
How about Alito? Hey, Alito, I noticed that Alito, did they give you a key to the city?
Oh my gosh. They gave me a lot of stuff. I was not expecting all that, but it was incredible. Yeah.
Well, my point is, I mean, making the big leagues and being from Alito, that's cool and all of that, but you're a World Series champion from Alito. They really did it up. That must have been even more special being a Metroplex kid, and then growing up here being a Ranger fan, and your hometown seems like, boy, they just really did it up for you.
It was, yeah. They had a Ranger celebration, they like to call it. Where they honored me and Maddie and my parents and family, and gosh, retired my high school number 18, and the amount of community support that Alito showed was really special, and they've always done that since I've been a kid. But that was really, really cool to see. So
it looked it, and that's why I've been brought it up. It just looks so neat. And and Jeff and I talk about this all the time. We get to meet you guys before you ever make the big leagues, and so with not being actually, Randy Bradford, this is about as close as we get to seeing a kid, my kids aren't going to be major leaguers. You still have one that
Yeah,
has a dream of
Henry
it.
will be.
He has
Yeah,
a dream
no
of
doubt
it.
about it.
Watching a kid make the major leagues, we're like proud of you. It's like we know you. It's so cool. But that was really neat. And when they did that, I was like, for me, it was kind of like, wow, that must have been a really neat time.
Yeah. Well, and back. I mean, when I first came here, which was
2008,
1993. Not
Okay.
when I started covering the Rangers. When I came to Fort Worth for the first time to go to TCU, 93. The third, I covered high school football games for my former employer, and the third game I ever covered was at Aledo High School. But I mean, it's like 1993 Aledo High School and 2023 Aledo High School. A little bit different. Football programs are a little bit different than they were.
Yeah.
But I still remember it was a rickety old press box, and the pregame meal was white bread and grilled sausage, which I was okay with. But I mean, it's just, you probably remember Aledo a lot differently in 2010 while it was still burgeoning and becoming this football powerhouse. But it's grown so much.
The winningest football program in Texas history.
Yeah, but I mean, besides football, just the town.
It's
not
grown.
a town. It's so much bigger.
Yeah, there's neighborhoods driving by when I go back home to visit my parents all the time that, I mean, it just used to be pastures. And I remember me and my dad used to drive by and look at the stock tanks and try and see how many ducks were on ponds and what deer were coming across there where we saw big bucks. And now it's just neighborhood after neighborhood, new school after new school. So it's crazy to see that.
Yeah.
All because of Cody Bradford and his success. And that's
No.
Go ahead and give him all the credit. So yeah, I mean, when do you think you will head out to Arizona? I know camp starts on the 14th. Are you a guy who likes to get there a couple weeks early? Are you going to live with the couples again, like you did last year, the last couple of years?
Yeah, my wife and I will probably head out there, 3 or 4 days before camp just to get acclimated and get all our stuff moved in. So probably right out there around the 10th or 11th. And then we will be staying with Davis Wenzel and his wife Rachel and their new son Knight.
Yeah, he was on last summer, and
that's right. She
was about 8 months, but they were in Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
Because Eddie Kelly from Frisco was telling me his wife got real close with your wife and with Davis's wife. She went down to the baby shower, something like that. I remember Eddie telling me that.
Yeah. Well, that Knight's a pretty cool name.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah.
Super cool name.
Is it with a K? It's not like Dark.
With a K.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Good.
Have you got to hold him yet?
I have, yes. We got to see him in Round Rock when he was born, and Maddie and I flew out there to him and his wife live in San Clemente, and we flew out there this off season and got to go visit him. It was great.
Yeah, San Clemente's pretty close to Anaheim.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I knew Davis was from California.
Yeah.
So is that where they off season? Do they stay in California?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Well, the new baby, I'm sure they're staying close to.
You got family around.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're close to family and friends, and San Clemente is just such a beautiful town on the coast. Like, it's gorgeous out there.
You'll experience this eventually, but you get a new appreciation for your in my case your in-laws when you have kids and you need a night off or you and you're with your travel schedule, your wife will really appreciate it. But good God, you gotta you need every person you can get. So the more the merrier. And I don't blame Davis at all. Shoot, I'd stay out there too. But when our in-laws they were in Houston, when they moved from the Houston area, changed our lives.
Yep.
Changed our lives.
Kathy and I never had it, but I'm old enough now. I've got a daughter that's close to your age, actually, but I'm at that age where grandkids aren't that far away from me.
Yeah.
But I already know as a right away we would be happy to go. Oh yeah, we'll keep them. Just bring them over here. We'll keep them. You guys, and and I'll tell you, you're not a parent yet, but when you're a young parent, you and Maddie are just going to need nights. You're just going to need we need to go to dinner and be adults with nobody spitting up on us or something like that.
Right.
You're going to appreciate, and grandparents will be like, you go do what you want to do.
Yeah.
We want to be there to love on the baby.
I'll tell you what, this is one of my favorite Henry stories. And he was about 6 months old, wasn't even walking yet. And they came to spring training. So this would have been 13. And we hadn't eaten yet. And I don't know if you've heard the Italian place there called Babbo's. It used to be in a smaller place. And so we showed up. There was a long wait. We had our son with us, and they moved us right to the front of the line because I don't think the old people in Surprise want to hear a baby crying. And so they just sat us down, and it was fantastic. He slept, we ate, we were in and out, and so take advantage of it while you can. But once they start moving, it's over.
Yep.
It's over.
Yeah. You don't have any. Y'all don't have one yet. So, but
not yet. Not yet.
Settled in and get that house built and going. And I know that's in the future. I'm assuming.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, it seems like he's a family kind of guy. So,
he's got a cool dad. That means he's going to be a cool dad.
That's right.
I'm gonna give Randy love every time I get a chance, man.
Your mom might get jealous here of John and Randy.
Yeah,
that's all right. You know what? This is guys' night. I'm telling you, I'd have been on the elk hunt. You know what I mean? We'll take them out to Vernon and go do some hunting too. When you get retired, we're gonna head out there.
Yeah. 15 years when he's retired. Perfect.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Well, look, I think we're good here. Let me ask you
a fun thing. A little fun thing. So you get to the big league. So you get to experience, you did both. So AAA does travel by plane to a lot of places. So does big league. Explain the difference between a AAA plane ride and a big league plane ride.
Oh, okay.
Because it is a big difference, isn't it?
It is a big difference. AAA, you're flying Southwest Airlines most times, so it's just commercial. Getting to the airport early, getting up really early. I mean, gosh, I think we had a 5 a.m. flight or 6 a.m. flight one time. I don't remember, maybe to Salt Lake, and really long days, layovers, big league flights. You show up to the airport, you get right on the plane, no security, all the food you can think of, all the snacks. I mean, that's dangerous. If you don't have discipline when it comes to candy bars, don't get on a big league plane flight because there's all the candy you can think of. And then, gosh, it seems like, I think me and my wife actually, when we were flying to Houston for one of the playoff games, I guess they took a family plane, but I mean, we were out of the stadium in Arlington, flew to Houston, in the hotel, all within a matter of like 2 hours. It was incredible. Awesome. It was incredible. So fast. So, I mean, the timing there is elite. It was awesome.
Now, when you get on a Southwest flight, do they have other passengers on there, or do y'all charter it?
No, there's other passengers, and sometimes they see all the guys like, "Are you guys a basketball team?" No, ma'am. We play baseball. Well, you guys are so tall. Yes, ma'am. So, yeah.
You guys get there early enough. Southwest has the crazy boarding system, right?
Sit where you want. Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah, just sit where you want.
You get middle seats all the time.
Yeah, it's mostly the back of the plane, boarding group C, so you're the last ones, and it's back of the plane and middle seats. You know.
They want to make big leagues worth it. Hey, you want to stay in the big leagues once you get there. You get out there.
Motivation.
That's how we talked to. We were talking to Dane last week. He was talking about what he did on the plane and all of that. But I knew that when you were in AAA, there's a big difference between AAA and the big leagues on what those plane lines. What do you do on the plane now? Do you play cards with the guys? You watch a movie? What are you usually doing?
I'm not a huge card player with the guys. I usually just watch YouTube videos on my phone, and every now and then I'll read a book. It just depends on what time it is and how I'm feeling.
Yeah. There is a rule, I thought, an agreement with the Players Association that 40-man players had to fly first class. Is that just like when you get called to the big leagues?
That is true. Yes. I forgot about that, actually. Yeah. I guess my first plane flight I got called back up when I was in Albuquerque, and my wife and I both went, and the team bought a first class flight for me, and then we bought a coach ticket for my wife. And so it was actually a 2-leg. We had the first leg, she let me fly first class, and it was awesome. And then the second leg I switched and I let her have my ticket. Yeah, that was a really special treat. I didn't know that until this year.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, Southwest doesn't have first class, so that
Right. It depends on what airlines you're on.
Yeah.
you have to be on a first class.
Yeah,
airline.
no, I mean, I would think that in that situation, you'd be like, just strap me in the wing, just get me back to the major leagues.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll get in the luggage bin. You can just get me there.
Yeah.
Don't let me in the van.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No, but we're looking forward to spring training.
Yeah.
We'll see you at Fan Fest. I'm gonna guess.
Are your folks
Yeah.
going out for spring training?
I'm sure they'll be there.
Yeah, we need to find out when Randy's going to be there. I don't care about your mom. I'm kidding.
Such a crush, man.
I appreciate anybody that appreciates this show the way Randy and
Yeah.
Randy, before we ever got where we were, was a big fan.
All right. Well, what size does Randy wear?
Maybe XL, maybe I don't know what size hat.
Yeah, we'll get him something.
We got something for him. You tell him it's
Cool.
coming.
Awesome.
All right. Anything else?
No, it's time for Cody to remove himself from his closet.
He needs to get out of there and get back to work. They are building the house, and I'm not going to say where, but they're having a lot of fun doing that. Cody, thanks so much. Listen, I know how your off seasons go, bud, and you stopped down to come on with us. We really appreciate it a lot. Looking forward to spring training, seeing you there in this season. We're going to see you a lot this whole season in the big leagues, but we appreciate you coming on, bud.
Cool. Yeah. Well, thank y'all so much. Always a pleasure to be here.